Hello, guys. I don't often talk about sports anymore, but I'm going to break down the Champions League for you. The whole competition. I'm going to show you its idolatry. And again, anybody who has any spiritual discernment shouldn't be able to deny what I'm about to present. But the issue is we live in a world where people are so wrapped up in the illusion. And they don't want to hear it. They want to sit down tonight and watch the Champions League and order the takeaway and have a few bets on and a few beers, okay? And they don't want to hear what I'm about to say. And then they'll throw out accusations of jealousy, okay? I'm losing my mind. Comments like that when I'm trying to help them. So all my best friends in England are meeting today to watch the Champions League. And they don't think it's coded. They don't believe it's satanic. They just think it's the best players in the world, okay, meeting each other. And again, I've done my videos about idolatry in sports. I believe Satan's behind the outcomes, not God, not man, okay, not an algorithm. I believe that Satan's behind the outcomes. That's what I believe. I've been sharing a lot of community posts on YouTube with images of symbolism, and people don't want to see it either. All right? He's just pointing his finger. He's giving out instructions. What about after the players score? Doing the exact same pose. Are they giving out instructions whilst they're celebrating the goal? They don't want to believe it, do they, guys? Hey, Esteban. They don't want to believe it. They don't want to believe Jesus is real. They don't want to believe that Satan's real. They don't want to believe that professional sports are satanic coded rituals. All right. It's like when you speak to people about Hollywood who are wrapped up in Hollywood, you tell them that Hollywood's satanic. You give them hundreds of examples. I don't want to hear it. No, I don't want to hear it. Will Smith's a really nice guy, really nice, funny guy, great family man. Don't want to hear it, do they? Okay. So it's difficult exiting the matrix. The more awake I become, the more I notice my central nervous system is affected when I pull away. It's definitely not easy. You need spiritual discernment. If you don't have it, you'll never leave. You'll never leave your old way of life. Where, like I said, it's just, thank you so much, Durrell, my brother. God bless you. I appreciate that. My friends right now, they don't want to leave what we call the matrix. Okay? They want to work their job. They want to have the release, which comes from professional sports. They want to keep denying Christ. And they want to keep pretending everything's good. Okay? When it's not. So what I'll do here, I'll go through some previous Champions League games, and then I'll briefly go over the games today and the ones that took place yesterday. And I'll also let you know right now that my work is not just some tipster. My work is a different level to just some tipster. If I just wanted to be a tipster, I would just be a tipster. I would take up all the offers that I get, all right, for sending people codes where they'd pay me a lot of money. I'd just do that. I could fall back on that if I wanted to do that at any given day. So I'm trying to show you that the world's not what you think it is, and you need to repent. If you think all I'm doing is setting up a website so I can make money and win other people money, you don't know me, and that's your mindset. So I just said, yeah, I can explain the Barcelona match. Nobody doing this is going to predict everything right. Doctors are not going to save every life, all right? Lawyers are not going to win every case. Footballers are not always going to have great games, okay? Do you know what I mean? That's just the reality. Thank you so much. Thank you, Darrell. God bless you, brother. Woo! So a musician's not going to hit every note every time they perform. throwing around terms like fraud. Guys, I have a platform. I share my insights. I have a decent amount of people that are interested in them. And some people pay me for my insights. What's wrong with that? So one of my best friends, his whole life is being money driven. All right. Since he was a kid, just obsessed with money. So he thinks everybody else is. Can somebody give me a woo? All right. He's always been obsessed with money. So he thinks I am. And that's an issue. Do you know what I mean? That's a real issue. So let's get into this. Let's break down some of these iconic, famous miracles in the Champions League and tell me who you think's behind it. Do you think it's just the best players in the world? Let's see how you feel by the end of this, eh? Let's start with Barcelona-Chelsea, because I'm going to remember all these games, guys. Huge football fan, professional football fan growing up, pretty much my whole life. Know the game inside out. So let's start with Barcelona-Chelsea, all right? We all remember that Fernando Torres goal, yeah? Torres, who was having a really tough time with Chelsea, really tough time, but is the hero in Spain when he rounded Victor Valdez. So I'll just read this out. To begin, Chelsea's 2012 Champions League triumph was their first ever, and it became a shock to the world and was completely unexpected. They beat Napoli and Benfica to reach the semi-finals and played Barcelona. Yet no one expected them to beat one of the greatest teams of all time. This was when it was primetime Barcelona. The first leg finished 1-0 to Chelsea, whilst they narrowly held on in the second leg. The hosts had over 700 passes and 20 shots that couldn't defeat the Blues, despite John Terry being sent off as the captain. Fernando Torres won the match for the visitors as he rounded the goalkeeper in the final minute. So, Barcelona, the best team in the world then, 700 passes, 20 shots. They're playing against 10 men. Chelsea's captain's been sent off. Yet they lost in the last minute. Now, what's the average football fan going to say, eh? What are they going to say? Hey, Riddler, God bless you. Barcelona didn't take the chances. Resolute defending from Chelsea. Caught them on the break. It's just that mindset. That weak mindset. All right? Do you know why Chelsea knocked out Barcelona? Because of the code. And that doesn't mean that every code is going to get every game right. There isn't one. There isn't one person that's going to do that. Okay? And that's not what my page is about. It's part of it. It's definitely an aspect of it. So again, my friends, they don't know that I've predicted 7 futures this year because they don't care about tennis or college basketball or college football. All they care about is the Premier League and the Champions League. They don't care about American sports. Okay? So they were both like, all right, let us know who's winning tonight in these games. No. You go bet your money away and lose it like you do almost every time you bet. You do that and go have your beers and watch the game. Okay? Because if I tell you who I think is going to win and they win, you ain't going to give me any thanks. And I'll tell you something, if it misses, you're going to let me know about it and try and make me feel like a fraud. So, not a chance. So that game, Barcelona should have absolutely nailed that, especially when Barcelona were leading 2-0. All right, Busquets opened the scoring. Iniesta made it 2-0. Best team in the world at home. Ramirez scores after 46 minutes to give Chelsea a little bit of hope. Now it's 2-2 on aggregate, but you're thinking it's Barcelona. They're at home. And then Chelsea go down to 10 men. Yet Torres scores in the 92nd minute. All right. And do you remember when Chelsea won the Champions League with Roberto Di Matteo? Where's he now? Can somebody give me a woo? Where's Di Matteo? He comes in at Chelsea, ex-player, wins the Champions League with them. Where is he now? Because he did what he had to do with the code when he did it. Okay, that's simple. So there's one game for you. Can you ping that like button if you're enjoying this, guys? For those who are not obsessed with the Champions League. Remember, I'm breaking people's hearts daily with this work as well. Are you aware of that? Not that I get pleasure out of it. I'm breaking people's hearts. So they want to come at me. They want to see my posts and go, LOL, you're a nut job. It's like, well, look at the photos, mate. Go on my community posts, guys, of them all doing the Baphomet. I'm losing my mind. The images are there. They're all there for you. It's up to you what you do with them. So, of course, people are going to come for me because I'm breaking their hearts. Doesn't matter what it is. Like I said, professional sports, Hollywood, the fact that this world is run by the devil, it breaks the heart. That the economy is about to collapse, it breaks the heart because they're in love with the world. Simple as that. So they're going to hate on me for it, for trying to actually help them. That's the funny thing with all of this. Now let's talk about the game that I still remember, because I remember watching it. I remember exactly where I was, and I remember how I reacted to it. I lost my mind. Manchester United 2, Bayern Munich 1. Moving on, Manchester United's dramatic 2-1 win against Bayern Munich in the 1999 final almost defied logic as Sir Alex Ferguson's side miraculously won the title. So again, these counterfeit false miracles of the devil. You think God's behind these miracles for the Red Devils to win? It's the devil, and he's allowed to be. An early free kick from Mario Basler looked to be guiding the German side to their first Champions League since 1976. But that quickly changed. In stoppage time, David Beckham's corner, who, by the way, was born in Whipps Cross Hospital, is the most famous crosser of the ball in the world. He's got a cross on his back. David Beckham's corner wasn't cleared, allowing Teddy Sheringham to steer home from Ryan Giggs' shot to deny the Germans victory. Now, I've shown you Teddy Sheringham. He was the top goal scorer in the first ever Premier League season. He's the oldest ever player to score in the Premier League. And I told you he was born on 4/2/66. He was born the year that England won the World Cup final against Germany. 4-2 in 66. And he gets this equalising goal against the German champions. All right. Teddy Sheringham, who couldn't even run. Okay, but he was such an intelligent player, wasn't he, guys, to justify it? He was so intelligent. His movement was so great. Guys, sorry about my throat. Shouldn't every Champions League striker's movement be great? This is the elite, guys. This is the best players in the world. How come the commentators and fans could just justify Sheringham? He had a footballer's brain, didn't he? At that level, shouldn't they all have footballers' brains? So we're watching that. I remember thinking, it's done. Bayern Munich, they had the best defense in the world. They were on top most of the game. United didn't really look like scoring. Giggs drags a shot, which again, for the people who are saying, it's coded by man, it's all Vegas, there's hundreds of thousands of them. So Ryan Giggs, all right, he mishits a shot with his weaker right foot, which perfectly lands to Sheringham, who spins on the half turn and places it in the corner. Stadium goes crazy. Okay? Goes wild. It's 1-1. Wow, we go into extra time. What's going on with my throat? We go into extra time. Okay. United got momentum. Look dead and buried. Okay. A lot of this, guys, you know what it is? It's the resurrection. It's mocking Jesus Christ. Can somebody give me a woo? Okay, there's so many examples of this resurrection in the games. They rise at the death. All right. So it's 1-1. And English guy scores against German team. And now it says, but they didn't stop there. With Sheringham involved again, he nodded it down and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer tapped it in. Remarkably, there was just 101 seconds between the two goals. Greatness in one match. That's the 26 prime. The number I talk about all the time. 101, the 26 prime. It's why Messi won the World Cup 101 days after the Queen died in his 26th World Cup game. Go read my community post about Lionel Messi. All right? Go read it. Deny any of it. Deny any of it. My community post, Lionel Messi, why he won the World Cup, why he worships Baphomet. I don't see people leaving comments on that post. There's nothing they can say. There's no LOLs. So 101 seconds. So United hadn't scored 90 minutes, an hour and a half, yeah? Long time, yeah? You can watch a movie in that time. In Europe, you can fly from England to Amsterdam and back in an hour and a half. But somehow they're able to score 2 goals in 101 seconds, which they called Fergie time. What are your thoughts there, guys? Was it Sir Alex Ferguson's amazing coaching? Could they even hear him from the sideline? What's the new camp, 100,000 fans? Sir Alex, who just sat there chewing gum every game and never coached on the field? That guy? Was it down to him? Was it Man United's never say die attitude? Well, where were they for 90 minutes? Okay, the Red Devils won the treble that year in 1999. Flip those nines and it's 666. All right. That's 2 games, right? I remember that as clear as day. And the energy I gave when Solskjaer scored. Remember the initials, Sheringham and Solskjaer's SAS? That connects to war. When Blackburn won the league and shocked the whole world, Shearer and Sutton, SAS. England, Euro 96, Shearer and Sheringham, SAS. Now, I'm not saying all these players are aware that they're being used by the devil, but they're being used by the devil. Anfield Road, I don't know who wins the Europa League. I don't know who wins the Premier League. I go day by day. I ain't saying it here. Okay? Like I said, as soon as I said I'm not as interested in coding sports, people are not as interested now. And that's fine, but let them be wrapped up in the world. Go with whoever you think, brother. I post futures on my website when I feel obliged to do so. My point of this stream is the Champions League is run by the devil. And I'll give you some more numbers later about today for you. Do whatever you want with them. So Sheringham scored after 91 minutes, Solskjaer 93. Bayern opened the scoring after 6. 6 minutes. Of course they did. All right. Now, what about that Real Madrid Paris Saint-Germain game? I could even talk about yesterday's game with Barcelona losing 4-1 to PSG. All right, a PSG now that doesn't have Messi, doesn't have Neymar, doesn't have Sergio Ramos. All right, they had that incredible team. They couldn't win the Champions League. But they go to Barca, who'd lost 3 home games all season, and thump them 4-1. And you know what football fans will do? They'll justify it because of the sending off. Xavi got sent off as well. Do you know Xavi has 3 out of the same 4 ciphers as Pope in Gematria? All right. 52, 56, 25. And Barcelona, the most Catholic club in the world. Okay? Xavi was doing the Baphomet on the sideline. So was Luis Enrique. Notice Luis Enrique played in midfield for Barcelona. Xavi did. Arteta, who's coaching today, and Guardiola. 4 of them played in central midfield for Barcelona. And then 4 of them are coaching in the last 8. Half of the coaches were ex-Barcelona midfielders in the last 8 of this competition. It's like Barcelona, they win the league last year, which I coded before the season began. What are they doing this season? Real Madrid cruising it, aren't they? I'll get into that Real Madrid game later. Guys, can you hit that like button for me? Do me a favor. Yeah, it's true. Liverpool could beat Atlanta 4-0 tomorrow and nobody will bat an eyelid. Can I get a woo? That's just the reality. Liverpool have been involved in all sorts of wild comebacks in Europe. Now, I ain't saying they're going to come back. Quite frankly, I don't care. That's the thing. People don't like that I don't care anymore. But I'm saying Liverpool could win 4-0 tomorrow, and there's not one fan that would really bat an eyelid. I'm talking about an actual fan, the avid fan. Oh, yeah, it's Liverpool. They got that early goal, and like I said, Atlanta went down to 10. All right. Liverpool didn't start with Salah and a few of the other first teamers in the first leg. Different ball game now, isn't it? That's all you're going to hear. And if they did win, they'll completely forget that Atlanta beat them 3-0. And then Atlanta in their next league game, they drew 2-2. All right. They had a 2-0 lead and blew it. But they could go to Anfield, which is a fortress, and put 3 past Liverpool. Do you know why they put 3 past Liverpool? Because they were supposed to put 3 past Liverpool, and there's nothing that any of us could do about it. Yes, Suarez and Sturridge, brilliant. Cloud Flynn, SAS. Remember when they bottled the league? You all remember that? Gerrard said, let's not let this slip, and he slipped against Chelsea. Or when they were leading 3-0 against Crystal Palace, and they drew 3-3. Do you remember that season? That's when they had Suarez and Sturridge. Brendan Rodgers was coaching them. Oh, yeah, they just didn't have the right mentality when it mattered. What a load of nonsense. How come Leicester win the Premier League and then a few years later they're relegated with a better squad? People don't want to believe it. Leverkusen winning the league, which they did on my birthday. The team that finished 6th last season, all right, they're literally leading Bayern Munich by 16 points, who are favourites to progress today to the semi-final of the Champions League. Dortmund just made it to the semi-final. They're 5th in the Bundesliga. Do you know why Dortmund made it to the semi-final of the Champions League? Because they were coded to. Now, when we talk about futures, which again, I've coded about 80 of them, 17 different sports, you all need to be aware, guys, there's a lot of teams that play in tournaments. I'll be honest with you, if Dortmund win the Champions League, I didn't look into Dortmund. But I'll look into them in the semi-final or the final if they get there, or whoever it is that gets there. But I ain't going to code every single golfer that participates in the tournament, every team that participates in a World Cup or Champions League. Do you know what I mean? Or the NBA. I won't have any time in my day. So to say that I've coded over 80 futures in 17 different sports, and they've not all been favourites. A lot of them have been, for sure. Not all of them. Even so, it's very, very difficult, guys. So let's move on to this Madrid PSG game, 3-2 on aggregate. Real Madrid feature regularly on this list. They call them the Kings of Europe, don't they? Which is hardly surprising when you consider they are the Kings of Europe and they've won the title 14 times. In 2022, they looked to be heading out with Carlo Ancelotti as manager. They lost the first leg 1-0 to Paris Saint-Germain. before Kylian Mbappe's goal in the first half of the second leg placed the visitors in control. What happened next, no one could believe. Mistake from PSG's defence gifted Karim Benzema a way back before he took advantage 2 more times of their collapse to see his side win 3-2 on aggregate. It's a strong contender for one of the most remarkable second half collapses. So again, Benzema, French, made his name in France with Lyon. They're 2-0 down at PSG, who had so many amazing players. And Benzema, who I've never rated, he gets a hat-trick, all right, in 18 minutes. 6 + 6 + 6. Karim Benzema scored a hat-trick in 18 minutes against Paris Saint-Germain. Where was that Ancelotti coaching for the rest of the 2 legs? 3 goals, guys. That's hard enough to do at Sunday League level, to get 3 goals in 18 minutes. This is the best club competition in the world. So let me look at this again. So Madrid didn't score in Paris. So they've gone 90, 95 minutes without a goal. And then they've gone 61 minutes without a goal at home. All right? So they've gone about 155 minutes without a goal, and then they score 3 in 18 minutes by the same player, who again never really had a lot of speed, wasn't technically unbelievable. He was good at holding up the ball. He always seemed to be in the right place. But he went on a run, didn't he, Benzema, especially when he won the Ballon d'Or. Watch my video about that, why he won it, and why he's playing in Saudi Arabia right now, doing nothing. He would get all these late winning goals. What is it? Is it his mentality? Can't he use that mentality the whole game? Why would he always just pop up at the end so often, Benzema? So that game, I remember that. Now, this one here was just scandalous. Okay? Do you remember the Roma Barcelona game, yeah? I think we're living a simulation. I believe Satan is behind this simulation. Hear me out. We know God created the earth with red Genesis, okay? We know how Satan became the god of this age. Satan knows the code. He knows scripture, okay? He knows psychology. Satan's behind professional sports. People say it's Vegas. Satan's behind Vegas as well. But it's spiritual wickedness, and I'll show you that with the symbolism. And I do believe the top stars have given themselves to the devil. Not every athlete. I think the top stars have. I think Xavi, Luis Enrique, those coaches that made it at Barcelona and then became these top coaches, Guardiola's, I think it's very clear they've given themselves to Satan. Messi, 5'7", comes to Europe for growth hormone, becomes the greatest footballer of all time, loses to Saudi Arabia in the World Cup, then goes on and wins it. And then his biggest rival signs with the Saudi Arabian team, Ronaldo. Anyways, you know Satan's running it when Saudi Arabia can beat Argentina. Can somebody give me a woo? You know that Satan's running the show. All right. Nobody bet on Saudi Arabia to beat Argentina. If you start saying it was Vegas, there's not one person that you know that bet on Saudi Arabia to beat Argentina. There ain't one. Okay? It was all coded. Simple as that. It wasn't about ability. If it was about ability and it was what we thought it was, Argentina put 7 past Saudi Arabia. That simple. They won't be getting beat 2-1 and then going on to win the World Cup. Messi wins it, what? How old was he? 35? And then he wears the black robe like death. When have you ever seen a player put on a black robe when they've lifted the World Cup? That's the type of stuff you need to start going, yeah, why was he wearing a black robe? Like death. I'm an Arsenal fan. If you couldn't tell, you're probably right, but still can't rule out Arsenal. No, absolutely not. For this game, again, Harry Kane, when he was younger, he played for Arsenal. He actually supported Arsenal, even though Spurs fans said he's one of our own. He goes to Bayern Munich. They won 11 league titles in a row. Kane's known for not winning trophies. So it almost became a meme as a joke. People were like, just imagine if Bayern don't win the league or a trophy because Kane signs. And people are like, well, they're obviously going to win the league. Nobody can come close to Bayern. And they've just signed the best striker in the world. Now they're 16 points behind. Those memes have become a reality. All right? They signed the best striker in the world, or one of them, and they're 16 points off Bayer Leverkusen, who finished 6th last season. Ain't that a red flag, eh? And now, Bayern doing very well in the Champions League, but having a nightmare in the league. Harry Kane gets to play against Arsenal in the quarterfinal. And he scored against them, didn't he? He scored a penalty like I said he would. The people on Twitter lying about me, they wouldn't have told you that. God bless those lost souls. God bless them. It's what they're doing to me is like what they do on Big Brother. You know, when they can edit clips? They can edit clips and then they can destroy a person's character. That's what he's doing. If I ever get a pick wrong, he's copied this sports gematria guy, by the way, who does it with Zach, because he's not original. And he won't put everything that I do. That's right. Not once. Never post that. And his people following him don't question that. It's really, really sad existence for that person. But anyways, Kane, is he going to score again tonight? I don't know. Remember, coming into the first leg, he'd played against Arsenal 19 times, scoring 14 goals. 1914 is when World War I began, on the 28th of July, which is Harry Kane's birthday. Harry Kane was born 79 years after World War I began, the 22nd prime. Arsenal Bayern was 2-2, like 22. Harry Kane captained England at the 22nd edition of the World Cup. He was born exactly 22 weeks after Bobby Moore died, who guided England to the World Cup in '66. That's the stuff I'm putting out. That goes under the radar. I don't need to tell you that. If it was all about money, I don't need to go back and tell you Harry Kane was born exactly 22 weeks after Bobby Moore and he captained England at the 22nd edition of the World Cup, or was born exactly 79 years after World War I began, the 22nd prime. I don't need to tell you all of that. That don't win you money, does it? But how interesting, eh? I'm showing you why Harry Kane's England's captain. I'm showing you why he's now playing in Germany. Now, I got him to win the Golden Boot. People are going to laugh. All right? Because he was what? 1-2? That's not the point of why I said it. And unless people can move on from that, and it's them who's consumed with gambling and money, they're never going to understand what I'm revealing here. So shall we move on to another game? Can somebody give me a woo? Ping that like for me. I'll move on to another ridiculous miracle in the Champions League, shall I? Okay. Let's move on to that. Next game, Roma-Barcelona, 4-4 in aggregate. Roma won on away goals. And just know that number 44 made it 4-4. Can somebody give me a woo? Number 44, again, these ridiculous jersey numbers, which people can't explain. Why a goalkeeper wears 99. Do you know what I mean? 4-4, number 44 made it 4-4, right? That's just a beautiful coincidence. Hey, you're reaching there, Adam. You're reaching there. Okay, sure I am. All right, let's read this. Roma have risen from their ruins. Manolas, the Greek god in Rome, the unthinkable unfolds before our eyes. Look at this. This was not meant to happen. This could not happen. This is happening. Peter Drury bellowed at the top of his voice as Roma came from 4-1 down on aggregate to take the lead on away goals against Barcelona. It's one of the most iconic lines of commentary history, showcasing the pure passion and emotion in the beautiful game, the satanic game at this level. Kostas Manolas' goal came after Edin Dzeko and Daniele De Rossi kick-started the comeback during a memorable night in the Italian capital. Drama was encapsulated during the Stadio Olimpico that night. So Barcelona, again, with this unbelievable squad, best in the world at keeping possession, demonic possession, against an average Roma team, very average Roma team. They go to Roma with a 4-1 lead and they fly back to Barcelona knocked out of the Champions League because they lost 3-0 in Rome, where the Vatican is, and they went out on away goals. Explain that one. Explain that one. I do remember when Iceland beat England. How are we supposed to take this seriously, guys? Do you know what I mean? When Iceland beat England, how are we supposed to take it seriously? Do you know what I mean? I remember when, obviously, I played for Bradford City when I was younger. I remember when Bradford City went to Stamford Bridge when Mourinho was the coach and beat them. Bradford City in League Two. They went to Stamford Bridge, who had a really strong team out, and beat them. Do you remember when Bradford City got to the League Cup final from League Two in 2013, the year Pope Francis became the Pope? Pope equals 56. Society of Jesus equals 56. There was the Bradford fire where 56 people died. Explain how that happened. If you're watching, Simon, explain that, eh? Explain how Bradford City knocked out Arsenal, Aston Villa, to get to the final the same year that they got promoted via the playoffs. Explain it. YouTuber, to say Chelsea were in third gear, look at the squad that they put out against Bradford City and look at the score. Okay? Explain it. Satan wants you to believe every dog has its day. The David and Goliath. We need to look past that and realize this shouldn't be happening. If there's players at Chelsea on 200 grand a week against Bradford City players who at best are getting 2 grand a week, at best, should it be happening? A team full of internationals against players who are playing in League Two, where there's some players getting 600 quid a week. Explain it. It shouldn't happen once, YouTuber, is my point. It shouldn't happen once. All right? Let's move on to another Champions League game. Why is soccer so popular? It's a very good question. And notice it's 11 versus 11. The master numbers, 22 players on a pitch. Have you seen how Arsenal Bayern's 2-2 and Madrid Man City's 3-3, and both of them are master numbers? Okay. I think football's a beautiful game. I told you, I coach it. I'm not knocking football. I'm talking about professional football. Satan has no influence with Sunday League or five-a-side or low-level semi-pro. Doesn't gain anything from it. He's running all professional leagues. Remember, I've shown you that they're all coded. Why I've coded futures in 17 different sports, which nobody else has done. Why? Because it's all coded by the devil. It's all coded by the devil. Don't matter if it's the NHL, the NBA, the MLB, Premier League, Champions League, if it's snooker, all right, whatever it may be. He's behind it. It's clear. Well, Anton LaVey founded the Church of Satan, YouTuber, in 1966, the year England won the World Cup, 4-2 in the final. The beast reigns for 42 months. Well, the first ever World Cup was in 1930, which was the year the founder of the Church of Satan was founded. Can somebody give me a woo? The first ever World Cup, which Uruguay won 4-2 in the final against Argentina. Both of their flags have the sun in it. All right. The sun. We know Jesus is the Son of God. And the first ever World Cup final, the year that the founder of the Church of Satan was born. Then 36 years later, he founds the Church of Satan the year England, wearing red, win the World Cup final 4-2 in 66, and number 6 lifts the trophy. Funny that football was played on a World War I battlefield when Anton wasn't born. Yeah, no, I'm not saying Anton LaVey founded football. I think he's behind the World Cup. Satan. It ain't Anton LaVey. Guys, Anton LaVey had the spirit of Satan. Okay? Simple as that. It's just interesting that the year he was born was the first ever World Cup and the final finished 4-2. Okay? Very interesting. Let's find another Champions League game. Okay? Yeah. Give me a woo. Do you want me to talk about that Real Madrid Man City game? Okay? Do you want me to talk about that Man City Real Madrid game? Do you remember it? Man City, best team in the world, yeah? I don't think their squad's that unbelievable looking at it, but they're the best team in the world because of the code. Remember, did you all know this? Phil Foden, John Stones, Kyle Walker, all Man City stars. England stars. Do you know they all have the same birthday? Phil Foden, Kyle Walker, John Stones, Man City stars, England stars, all have the same birthday. And last year, the Premier League ended on their birthday, the year they won the treble. So, ping me that like, guys. I told you I want to average 100 likes. I think I'm only going to be this illusion for one more year, personally, is how I see it. So I'm going to go out with a bang. Check this out. Man City, eh? Let's look into this. Real Madrid 3, Manchester City 1. Real Madrid progressed 6-5 on aggregate. I'm looking at an image of Bernardo Silva now. He just, look how small he is. Never knock him off the ball either, ever. When Man City beat Real Madrid 4-3 in the first leg and then took the lead in the second leg, everyone thought they would be reaching their second final in 2 years. But that wasn't the case, as they produced one of the greatest collapses ever. This is a team, again, the best team in the world for possession. All right? They had a really solid back line. They didn't concede many goals. All right? But they collapsed. They just collapsed. They conceded twice in stoppage time. Not only that, they conceded 2 goals to the same player. It was Rodrigo, yeah? All right? Conceding 2 in stoppage time is mental at that level. But for it to be the same player who's not necessarily prolific, it wasn't Benzema, it was Rodrigo. And he came off the bench. Okay? So it says they conceded twice in stoppage time to Rodrigo to take it to extra time before Karim Benzema's penalty secured victory for Europe's serial winners. So again, Benzema pops up with a huge goal. Penalty, but important. For a team so used to winning, no one could truly describe how the collapse and drama that came with it unfolded. I can. It was Satan. I can describe it. It was the devil. Man City eventually won the Champions League a year later, but they were visibly scarred by their night in Madrid. All right? And just so you know, oh man, this is actually making me laugh. Like, saying this out loud, you might lose 50K on your memberships. YouTuber, you think I get $50,000? What? $50,000 I get from, guys, I make $40 now from YouTube. I used to make 700. And my website, I've got about 400 people paying me 10. I get taxed. This is something I've built up over 4 years to get this reputation. 50 grand. You think 5,000 people are sub to me? Where does that come from? 50 grand. Are you talking about over a year, 2 years? What? Like, YouTuber, listen, bro, if you're going to lie about me, this is something I said to myself last night. If you're going to lie about me and blatantly lie, like the person said that I was born in May and I'm lying about my birthday, if you're going to spread lies about me, which there's plenty of other people doing, but if you're in my live stream lying, completely lying, you're gone. So one more lie, I know if it's a lie or not. I'll respond to your comments, which I always do to people. But if you're going to lie and say I'm making this, that, and the other, you're gone. Okay? These people, guys, you don't know if it's the same couple of people as well. That's the issue when you have an online platform. You get 1 or 2 people that are obsessed with you or can't stand you, and they go out of the way to try and ruin you. I am doing this video to expose the Champions League so you stop idolizing over it. I ain't doing it so you win money off it. Can you win money off my work? Of course you can. All right, but I told you every man and his dog has a Patreon now putting out codes. And if their code hits, they think it's their code. Mine's deeper. My work's deeper. They don't care about exposing the Champions League. They want to watch it. They want to cheer their players on. They want to win their money. I don't bet. Okay, so one more comment where you lie, you're gone. Anyone as well. Now, let me go back to what I was saying. This Man City Real Madrid game. Okay? Mahrez, he scored after 73 minutes, guys. Okay? Man City, they come in 4-3. Again, where's the defense? Then they make it 5-3 after 73 minutes in the second leg. And somehow Real Madrid qualified. And this article is saying nobody could explain how that happened. So why don't you all start thinking outside of the box and realize it was because of the devil. Okay? And let's see what wild stuff go on today, eh? Maybe you're going to start watching these games now and thinking twice, rather than being wrapped up in the entertainment of it all. Let's move on. Real Madrid scores. Rodrigo 90-91 and Benzema 95. 90th minute, 91st and 95th. And prior to that, they hadn't scored in 180 plus minutes. Can somebody give me a woo? Can we ping that like? Real Madrid didn't score in 180 minutes of football against Man City. 180. Okay, that's 3 hours. But they scored 3 goals in 5 minutes. What's wrong with people that they don't want to hear this? That is common sense, what I'm saying. Yeah, but what's the code? Did you say that Real Madrid were going to score 3 goals in the last 5 minutes? Did you? Then it's not. Rick. It's not. Stop. No, I'll tell you that they didn't score in 3 hours and they scored 3 goals in 5 minutes against the best team in the world. That's what I'm telling you. The team with the best possession stats, who could have just kept the ball, ran down the clock. Best team in the world to keep the ball. There's no better team than Man City to run down a clock. Just like Barcelona back in the day, there was no team better in the world then running down the clock, then Barcelona. People couldn't get near them. But Roma were able to score 3 goals against them in the second leg. Knock them out. Wait till we get to that Liverpool-Barcelona game, shall we? No, it's these Real Madrid rely on the counter-attack. That's what the Devils convinced you. Okay, if they go through tonight, people are going to say that. Next game. Real Madrid 2, Chelsea 3. Once again, Real Madrid produced drama in the Champions League. This occasion came the round before the match against Man City, yet it was full of drama for a quarter-final. I remember this. They dramatically went past Chelsea, they dramatically went past City, and they went on to win it. The Spanish sides cruised through the first leg to win 3-1 at Stamford Bridge. Everyone thought they would be reaching the semi-finals, but when the Blues went 3-0 up in the capital, through goals from Mason Mount, Antonio Rudiger and Timo Werner, that wasn't so certain. They were about to be knocked out before late goals from Rodrigo and Benzema in extra time secured a dramatic win. Wait, let me take a breather, eh? Let me take a breather. So, prior to scoring 3 goals in 5 minutes against Man City, best team in the world, they're playing Chelsea, another English team. They go to Stamford Bridge, beat Chelsea 3-1. Now, they're going to their fortress, the Bernabeu, yeah? Okay, Madrid are probably going to beat them again. They're comfortably going to progress. They're down 3-0 to Chelsea at home. Okay, so now Chelsea are going through. Rodrigo and Benzema pop up. They pop up again, just like they did against Man City in extra time and secured them victory. I don't know what's worse, guys. It's like we could just talk about Tom Brady for the Americans watching who don't know football, the real football. How many times did he win games in the last second? Mahomes is doing it now. How did Brady, the GOAT, win 7 Super Bowls? Go to 10. 199th pick. Struggled at high school. All right? Wasn't athletic. You've got to be at least questioning it. All right? You can say, like I said, it's scripted, it's Vegas, it's Satan, it's bloodline. But if you still think it's all organic, which is nearly everybody, well, Brady had the mindset, didn't it? Same thing. Tom Brady had that winner's mentality that nobody else had. Do you know how dumb you sound? And how lost you sound? By saying that? Do you know how easy it is to just say that? All the people who go, yeah, they scored 3 goals in the last 2 minutes because the other team were tired. Elite athletes? Making hundreds of thousands of dollars a week, supposedly. Training every day. Elite coaching. But somehow these pro players get tired in the last couple of minutes. Explain it. Explain how Mahomes won the Super Bowl with 3 seconds left to get his 3rd MVP. Throws it to number 12. 1 + 2 is 3. Probably going to win a 3-peat. How? How do NBA teams go up by 25 points and lose? How? How can baseball teams go up 7-0 and lose with 2 innings left? How? So when I tell people to cover their bets, it's because I know Satan's behind the outcomes. Nothing shocks me. If a team's 2-0 up with 10 minutes left in the Premier League, they can lose 4-2. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? And nobody would bat an eyelid? I could give you thousands of examples of ridiculous games that shouldn't have been happening. People don't want to hear it, do they? They want to sit down today and watch the Champions League. Let them. And when Chelsea were up 3-0, by the way, they made it 3-0 after 75 minutes. It's not like they scored 3 goals in the first 20 and they were hanging on. They had to hang on for 15 minutes. But no, let's just concede in the 96th minute and get knocked out. Now, this next one. I'm looking at these players now. Shaqiri, Origi. Barcelona 4. No, sorry. Liverpool 4, Barcelona 0. Give me a woo if you remember this game. Let's go through this game, eh? The infamous Trent Alexander-Arnold corner, which was genius from Trent. How's about you wake up and you see the defending from Barcelona? They want in control. They're not in control of their actions on the field. They think they are, but they're not. That's how I see it. They think they are, but they're not. So, again, the commentators will focus on, wow, that was incredible from Trent, the quick thinking. Origi was alert. No, let's look at the defending, guys. Let's look at the fact that Barcelona were leading this 3-0. Look at that Messi free kick he scored at the Nou Camp. Tell me that was rehearsed. When he pinged it in the top corner from about 40 yards. All right, let's break this down. All right. These next 2 games, they happened in the space of 2 days in 2019. So let's start with this one. 2 of the greatest days in the competition's history. Up first, Liverpool came from 3-0 down in the first leg to beat Barcelona 4-3 on aggregate. After a Lionel Messi masterclass in the first leg, did nothing in the second leg. Yeah, because Anfield is a fortress. Just give me a break. Give me a break. He dominated them. Same players he were playing against. Did nothing. Jurgen Klopp's side were low on confidence. But Anfield, seen as a mythical stadium by some, quickly changed that. The memorable stadium created one of the most deafening atmospheres ever, helping Liverpool fight back. Jorginho Wijnaldum pulled Liverpool level with 2 quick-fire goals before Divock Origi scored the winner in dramatic circumstances. Corner taken quickly, the famous commentary line goes, as Anfield ruptured into bedlam. So again, in this game, Liverpool had to get an early goal, 7 minutes, Origi. So it's like, okay, we're not going to go through, but there's something there. And then Wijnaldum scored after 54 minutes. Now there's big hope. 2 minutes later, after 56 minutes, Wijnaldum, again, not a renowned goal scorer, pops up. Now it's 3-3. Liverpool have the momentum. It's Anfield. All of that narrative that they'll force down your throat. And then Origi wins it. I don't know how people can take this stuff seriously. All right. 4-0. 4-0. They got spanked. I remember I was in Mexico City. When Barcelona spanked Liverpool. And nobody in their right mind thought Liverpool would come back. There ain't nobody who thought Liverpool were going to come back, but they did. Now, that's not as crazy as the miracle in Istanbul, is it? It is very much like a movie. It's a production. You're sitting down today, you're going to turn your TV on. Like I said, people are going to have the beers, the takeaway, have their little bets on. That's what they're going to do, and it's their choice of being that person. And if they win, if their team wins, or if they win money, it's a great night. And then they'll do it all again tomorrow in the Europa League. And then they'll do it in the Premier League. And then they'll do international football. And by the end of the year, the average person, they don't win anything. I won tens of thousands of dollars profit. Tell me how many gamblers have done that ever in their life. Up, net, profit. Tell you some of my mates, they're all down. They'll tell you they aren't. They're all down since they've started betting for what, 15, 20 years. They ain't won tens of thousands of dollars profit in less than 9 months like I did. Why? Because I knew the code. I studied the games. I don't study the games like I used to because I'm not as interested. That's the simple reality. And I could flip back to it and being interested again and knock codes out of the park. I did it. I did it over 2 years. I didn't just go on a 1 week run with sports. I went 2 years. That's why I built my community to 500-600 people at one point, because I was right nearly every time for 2 years. Then I wasn't as interested. That affects my quality of coding for sure. But I still believe I can outcode anyone if I wanted to. I'll say that. But again, I'm talking about this here. This ain't about a code. This is just exposing the Champions League. Now let's talk about this. Guys, can you get me to 40 likes? I'm going to talk about Tottenham and Ajax. All right? And you're going to enjoy this one. You remember that Tottenham Ajax game? Pochettino against Ten Hag? Well, let's break that down, shall we? All right. Is this the same Pochettino and Ten Hag that were just involved in the Chelsea-Man United 4-3 game? Is that the same coaches that were coaching for Ajax and Tottenham? I think so. That's a wild coincidence, eh? Isn't it? That's a really weird coincidence, Adam. I think you're reaching, though. I think you're reaching. Why Cole Palmer scored 2 goals in the last minute. What, 100th minute and 101st? A Chelsea team struggling all season? I'm reaching, guys. Aren't I? So let's break down this game. Spurs, who again, how on earth they got to the Champions League final with the squad they had? Let's break down, and they lost to Liverpool, didn't they? Origi scored in that final as well. Ajax 2, Tottenham 3. 3-3 on aggregate, Tottenham won on away goals. They've got rid of away goals now. Dele Alli was in this game. Like, what happened to Dele? We saw his recent interview. All right? We saw that recent interview that he did. Honestly, that performance when he was interviewed by Gary Neville was an absolute embarrassment. Okay? So, I remember Lucas Moura was the hero. Let's read this. Just 1 day after Liverpool's miraculous comeback against Barcelona, 1 day, Tottenham Hotspur arguably went one better. Tottenham were playing without their star striker, Harry Kane, yet they didn't need him to do the impossible. Mauricio Pochettino's side, who's doing nothing with Chelsea right now, lost the first leg 1-0 at home to Ajax before going down 2-0 at halftime in the second leg through goals from Matthias de Ligt. And guys, my computer's crashed. My computer's crashed. I'm going to have to end. Cheers, Satan. It's never happened before. My computer has just crashed. All right. It's coming up with this massive error, which I've never had before. I'm done. Let's just say Lucas Moura scored a hat-trick, who rarely ever scores goals without Harry Kane. They progressed. They lost in the final to Liverpool. Can you still hear me? Can you hear me, or am I done? So what on earth just happened? What is going on? Anyway, Spurs won in the 96th minute. Lucas Moura. They're 3-0 down. Half time of the second leg, it's 3-0. They're playing in Amsterdam. Ajax that season had this unbelievable squad and a great coach. Well, he's doing great, any Ten Hag at Man United, because it's all about coaching ability. Spurs came back one day after Liverpool came back. So the Liverpool game against AC Milan, I've covered it. 2005 Champions League final in Istanbul. Liverpool down 3-0 at half-time against AC Milan with Dida, Maldini, Pirlo, Kaká, Shevchenko, Cafu, Nesta, all right, Seedorf. It's 3-0. Liverpool with Jimmy Traore, Smeetser, all right, Milan Barros, Harry Kewell, Steve Finnan. Came back. They won the Champions League that year on penalties. The miracle in Istanbul. Do you know why they came back? The devil. Do you think it was because of the half-time speech from Benitez? Did Ancelotti forget how to coach? Now, if you look at the saves from Dudek, do you believe they rehearsed them? When the ball came back to Alonso after his missed penalty, do you think they rehearsed that? And he fired it in the top corner with his weaker left foot. You think that was all rehearsed? Do you think it's organic? Do you think it's the best players in the world and somehow Liverpool came back from 3 goals down? It's not like AC Milan went down to 9 men or something. I'm trying to help you all right? Whatever people want to say about me, okay? I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, whatever. I'm trying to help you, and that's what I've done for 4 years. It's just a lot of you don't want to be helped. There'll be some of you that are going to justify why Liverpool came back. They'll justify it. They'll find a way. They'll use the word momentum. They'll talk about the leadership of Steven Gerrard. They'll say that they had a little bit of luck along the way. Won't they? Like this guy joking around with me now. Steve Finnan, bang average. Carragher couldn't even run. And he's got Kaká running at him, Shevchenko. And he's always on his ass, Carragher. That Dudek, how tall was he? So there's too many games to choose from. Now, let me tell you something that's going on in this Man City game today. Can you hit that like button? Let me tell you something, which I want to reveal, which a lot of you won't care about. Some of you will. I like making these finds. I don't think many other people make them. All right? I have shown you Man City connect to the royal family, especially Prince Philip, correct? Adam, why do you get so many trolls in the chat? Because they don't like the truth. And they can be the same person. There's people who have 10 different YouTube accounts. They set them up. It's a real shame. Those people need Christ desperately. Okay? And like I said, I break people's hearts. I shatter their illusions. So their releases, if he gets a sports pick wrong, which is not what I'm all about, that means that everything else he's saying has no substance. Don't you think the devil's okay with that? Don't you think the devil's okay with that? He wants it to be all about predictions because he knows no man's going to get everything right. That's just the reality. So there's people who wait on me getting something wrong and then go, yeah, he's a fraud. Yep, he don't know what he's talking about. Yep, he's egotistical. He deserves to be put in his place. All of this self-righteousness from these people who don't know I'm doing it because I care. Man City won the treble on Prince Philip's 102nd birthday, right? Hear me out. Noel changes his mind every day. God bless him. He changes his mind daily when he appears in the stream. So I don't know. I don't know what he's saying today, but he changes his mind daily. Man City win the treble, yeah? On June the 10th, 2023, the day I was baptized. Remember, winning goal after 68 minutes in the 68th edition of the European Cup. Pep Guardiola got his 337th Champions League win, the 68th prime, okay? That happened. You ask a City fan that, they don't know that. They probably didn't even know it was the 68th edition of the European Cup. They win the treble on Prince Philip's 102nd birthday. 3 trophies. 1 + 0 + 2 is 3. We know 9/11 lasted 102 minutes. Now, the first leg of the Madrid City game in this year's competition, it finished 3-3, yeah? Okay? 3-3. That was on the 3-year. I want some woos here, and I want you to really listen to what I'm saying. That was on the 3-year death anniversary of Prince Philip. So on the 3-year death anniversary of Philip dying, Madrid and Man City draw 3-3. And remember, Philip was the father of King Charles. Real Madrid are the kings of Europe, right? Today, Man City are playing Real Madrid exactly 3 years after Prince Philip's funeral. Now, check this out. Man City have played 9 games in the Champions League this season. In every single game this season in the Champions League, all 9 of them scored 3 goals. Again, the average City fan's not even aware of that. The average City fan's not even a City fan. They're glory fans. You see them in the stadium when they won the Champions League, half of them weren't even clapping. Football's dead at the highest level now. It's dead. Okay? So explain that. Explain all those threes, or explain in Chelsea's 3rd Champions League final, they won it by beating Guardiola's Man City. And they were sponsored by 3, a phone company that was founded 3303. Explain that one to me. If we see any shootouts, we know it's connected to war. Penalty shootout. You have a shootout with war, World War III. So again, people are just wrapped up in the entertainment of it. If they lose that, who are they? They don't know. If they lose their identity as a football fan, who are they? The average football fan, it's their religion, isn't it? It's their release. This is my team. This is our year. All right? They go to work. I've told you, this is the reality. The average person goes to work doing a job they don't like and they need a release. Whether that's sports, alcohol, partying, Netflix. They need some sort of release. They can't imagine a life without it. And they see a guy like me sat at home making a living who said, I don't need TV. I don't need to watch professional sports. I don't need to gamble. Then they think that I feel like I'm superior. So they want to come for me. My friend Simon now, all right, what would he be doing tonight without the Champions League? What would he be doing? Interesting question if you're watching Simon. What would you be doing? Think about it. This can be a healing channel. I think it can be if you want it to be. I've led so many people through the Holy Spirit to the Word of God. Away from idolatry. I've won them tons of money if you want to obsess over that. I'm sure people have lost money off my picks. All right? And they'd lose it with or without me. They gamble with or without me. I've woken up so many people. It's a beautiful thing. I hope this live stream's made you think. What have I just got out of this? I've told you, I don't get paid by YouTube. I'm not trying to get you to my website. I'm just exposing the Champions League. What do I gain from it? Ask yourself that. What am I personally gaining from this live stream? Other than trying to help you guys in the chat. What do I gain? I ain't going to get new members from this. They want me talking about, right, guys. All right, second leg, Man City, Real Madrid. Okay, this is going to be interesting. If we look at the stats, I think the stats tell me City should qualify. Okay, so what I'm going at, I've got these durations with Haaland. I've seen Real Madrid with a loss go 7-2-1. That's Haaland's birthday. That could be a good sign for Haaland to score. People will be, really? This is interesting. So wait, what are you saying? You think that Haaland? Yeah, come to my website, mate. Codes are all there. I'm knocking them out of the park. Just $10, mate. It's nothing. But yeah, I'll sign up. I used to do that and it worked because I cared. I actually cared about winning people money and winning myself money. And now because I won't do that, all I'm doing is exposing the Champions League. What do I gain from it? Hey? Can you guys think of any other ridiculous games? Leicester winning the Premier League, Greece winning the Euros, Denmark winning the Euros, Leicester winning that FA Cup when I coded them when they beat Chelsea in the final. What about all those finals with Liverpool and Chelsea where no team could score? Weren't there like 3 games where they went to extra time, 3 finals, and not one team scored? Do you remember that? I do. Yeah, Chelsea winning the 2021 Champions League final. Kai Havertz, number 29, 1-0, 29, the 10th prime. Havertz with Arsenal now, all about war. That's why Zinchenko's there. And yeah, like ever since I gave myself to Jesus Christ, that's where the hates come. It's that simple. I didn't get any really prior to that. It's since giving myself to Christ. Sports is revolved around the Bible, but it's the devil doing it. Okay? Jesus rises from the cross. It's a miracle comeback. It's the devil, God of this world. Everything within the world of entertainment at the highest level is the devil. And he can use people. There's active Satanists who know what they're doing. All right. If you look at like the Kardashians, they know who they worship. Okay. And then there's many who are just, they're being used by the devil and they don't even know it. Read between the lines. You couldn't have picked more controversial subjects to talk about. Yeah, this tells you my character. Promoting Christianity in 2024 to a fallen world, pretty controversial, eh? I'm gonna be open to a lot of hate from Muslims, atheists, New Agers. Okay? Calling out professional sports watched by billions of people. You think people want to hear that? There's a tiny group of people that are open to it. I could appease the majority easily. Dimez, big Man United fan, he'd sit here and listen to me talk all day if it was about Man United. All right? He'd sit here and he'd be like, wow, okay, yeah. If I was like, okay, Man United next season, if they sign him, and him, okay, I think they could really push for a title run. People would want to hear that. Yeah, I think so. But I ain't going to do that. I could. I know the game inside out. I'm talking about topics most people don't want to hear. So when people say I'm doing it all for money and reputation and to be worshipped, I won't be promoting Christianity and exposing things that people love. Why? How does that get me likes and love? It's a small, that's why I can't get 100 likes. I can't get 100 likes on average in a video when I've got, what, 12,000 people sub to me? So I will say this as well. Just go watch my videos. Look what I've talked about. Even my best friend Nathan brands me with the sports decoder. He brands me with it. Yeah, I'm somewhat open to it. I don't think it's all coded, but you've got to realize, ads, that when you get a pick wrong, people are not going to pay attention to you. And I understand, although you do make some interesting observations. And it's like, you don't get my point, Nate. You're not understanding why I do it. I'm revealing so much. I ain't just the sports predictor. I tell you all, nobody's going to get everything right. People want me to go, all right, City qualify, Arsenal qualify. We're going to have Arteta against Guardiola. All right? Just like Arteta was the assistant to Guardiola. It's all going to be about that. Or do you want me to say, no, I think what's going to happen, I think we're going to see Pep against his old club Bayern. All right? They want to hear that stuff. They want me to go, okay, City win 3-1 and Arsenal go through in a shootout. And if it doesn't hit, I'm a fraud. They want that. They want that. They don't care. Like my Cole Palmer code, I sent it to the boys. I said, Cole Palmer, hey, I don't care if we called him a score on the website, whatever. All right? By the way, have you noticed he's the leading goal scorer with Haaland in the Premier League? And he left because of Haaland, because he couldn't start. So he goes to Chelsea. He's not really got much Premier League experience. He's got 20 goals already. And I was like, do you not find it weird how he scored 4 goals? Oh, no. He's top class. He's Palmer. He's class. 20 years old. He's class. I'm like, yeah, but you know that King Charles III was coronated on his 21st birthday and Cole Palmer just scored 4 goals 21 days before his birthday. That means nothing. He scored 4 because he's a class striker, Adam. Now, you know Chelsea could just beat Everton 6-0. And then in Chelsea's next game, they could lose 4-0. And nobody will bat an eyelid. Or Everton can beat 6-0 and they could win 2-0 in the next game. And nobody will bat an eyelid. I don't remember watching Greek Cup final in 2009. AEK 4-4 against Olympiacos. Olympiacos won 15-14 on penalties. No, Johnny, great penalties. Superb penalties, mate. Great attacking football. Superb penalties. What a spectacle, eh? Brilliant game. I remember that. Christ is love. His Father is love. Labeling them as torturous spirit beings is detestable. Yeah, I know. It's those who have the spirit of the Antichrist. Your Trump book is exceptional, brother. Julie, thanks so much. That's another thing. Like my Trump book, it is just. I've just said if this was a fair world. And I had a marketing team behind me, and I was getting interviewed on the Oprah Winfrey Network about my Donald Trump book. And Oprah was like, do we live in a coded reality? Well, here's the illusion. And here's why he believes Donald Trump will become the 47th US president. If I was given a platform where the mainstream pushed me, I'd wake up millions. I would. If they pushed me. And here's illusion on the Joe Rogan show talking about our coded reality. We're going to break down his Trump book and why Lionel Messi won the World Cup with Argentina. I would be changing millions of people's lives. I ain't going to be able to do that in Satan's world. He's the God of this world, and he's going to burn in the lake of fire. All right? His time's short. I'm amazed I have the platform that I have while Satan's the god of this age. Simple as that. Now, again, when my time is done doing this, I know a lot of people will be upset, but I've left a lot of hearts and minds impacted, man. No doubt about it. And my books are always going to be there. Adam Pep, his number at Barcelona was 4. He can win his 4th Champions League and 4th Premier League in a row. Yeah. Check this out. You want to speak about 4s? I can't believe my computer. I'm going to have to clean it all. Guys, who's going to get me that 50th like button? I might have to go for a pee. I'm going for a pee, and then I'm going to talk about 4s, all right? Give me a moment. What's my battery? Right, I'll tell you this. Thank you for hitting the like button, whoever did it. Yesterday, I'm going to have to type this for you. Yesterday, Barcelona came in with this record versus PSG. Just let me type this, guys. Right? Today, Man City come in to their game versus Madrid with this record in the Champions League. Right? PSG won. They won 4-1. Mbappe got his 42nd Champions League goal, all connected to Vatican City, who were founded the 42nd day of the year. Remember, the Society of Jesus were founded in Paris, France, where Mbappe plays. It's why so many of the stars have to go there. Mbappe, Messi, Beckham, Neymar. It's where the Society of Judas were founded. So, all time, Barcelona are 4-4-4 versus PSG. Man City won the Champions League 44 weeks and 4 days ago. Manchester City won the Champions League on Ancelotti's 68th birthday, who's the head coach of Real Madrid. 4 times 4 times 4 equals 64. If, I'm not saying this is going to happen at all, it's just I make these observations. If somehow Real Madrid win, they become 4-4-4 against Man City, just like PSG are 4-4-4 against Barca, and all the media's talking about Mbappe going to Real Madrid. So that's their narrative. There's a lot more for City to qualify, in my opinion. Their narrative is that. Okay, the Mbappe playing against Real Madrid, the 4-4-4. All right, 44 weeks and 4 days after City won the treble. That was on Prince Philip's birthday. The first leg was on the anniversary of his death. The second leg today is the anniversary of his funeral. Now, I won't be shocked if Man City score 3 goals in this game for the 10th time this season. It won't shock me. I'm not saying it's going to happen. People are starting to agree with me about Erling Haaland, that he ain't technically gifted. Some people are saying, yes, I think he's demonically possessed. Let's see how he does. Again, he doesn't do anything against big teams. I could do this live stream now and he bangs a hat trick. But the fact is, as of now, of me talking, he does nothing against the big teams. He ain't a great footballer, but he's demonically possessed. And that's why he gets all of his goals. He ain't a great footballer. He's just a big goon who's demonically possessed. So the 4-4-4s, if you like the upset, you go Real Madrid. If you think City are going to win, I can completely see why. They have a ridiculous code. So remember, in gambling, you can take both teams to score, which keeps happening in these Champions League games. You can take over 2.5 goals. You can bet in play, which people never reveal. When I tell people to bet in play, they hide that. So the stuff for City, I'll give you it. So you guys can do whatever you want. I want to be the guy that gives you ingredients and you cook whatever meal you want. I ain't going to be the guy charging $10 a month to give you winning picks in every game, every day of the year. So, guys, do you want the City code? Do you want their numbers to qualify? Do you want me to break them down? You do whatever you want with them. I told you I won't be watching the game. No, it ain't about picking both sides. This is what you don't get, YouTuber. It ain't about just picking both sides. You don't get why I do what I do now. For 3.5 years of this journey, I'd say this team's going to win. And I still do that 80% or 90% of the time. I think this team wins. Like the Phillies yesterday in baseball again, they won 5-0. Said straight up, they were nothing for the Rockies. Phillies win this. They won 5-0. Nearly every time I say this team's going to win. All right? I'm giving you information here that should blow your mind. And again, I'm giving you it right now for free. And I charge 35 cents a day for my website. 35 cents. How many people are going to bet on these games today and just blow money by guessing? So here we go. I'll give you what I've seen here. The teams come into this game after drawing 3-3 in Madrid. The first leg was on the 3-year death anniversary of Prince Philip dying, and Man City have scored 3 goals in all their 9 Champions League games this season, and they can knock out Real Madrid, the Kings of Europe, exactly 3 years after Prince Philip's funeral, and City won the treble on his 102nd birthday, on Ancelotti's birthday, so don't be shocked to see 3 or more goals scored in this game. So they won it on Philip's 102nd birthday, the treble, did Man City. 9-11 lasted 102 minutes. Ancelotti can stay on 3 wins versus Guardiola. If the game's about 3, I'd be shocked if... basically this, if the game's about 3, City qualify. If the game's about 4, Madrid do. All right? Madrid can become 4-4-4 all time against Man City. Ancelotti can get his 4th win against them in Real Madrid's 44th game in all competitions. If it's the 3s, it's City all day long, and they probably score 3 goals. Real Madrid can get their 111th Champions League loss. Queen Elizabeth was born the 111th day of the year. 9/11 was with 111 days left in the year. The problem is, again, these games, they get harder as the season goes on. Over 4 years, again, I've dominated the Champions League, the Europa League, daily. All right? But if they draw, Madrid get 111 points in all competitions. So that 111, you're like, I think Man City are more connected to the royal family, but then Madrid are the Kings of Europe. There's some games where it's like, phew. So I put out the info. You can do what you want, like both teams to score over 2.5. I'm going to go for the Madrid upset. I'm going to hope Madrid score and then take City in play. There's loads of ways you can do it. But again, most people don't have any money. They don't have money to be able to cover themselves anyway. 1 second. Guardiola can get his 110th all-time Champions League win. Real Madrid can stay on 110 points in all competitions this season with a loss. The World Trade Center had 110 flaws. We know that Man City is sponsored by an airline which connects to 9/11. Buildings 1, 2, and 7 of the World Trade Center came down on 9/11, and Ancelotti's 12th game versus Pep, he can get his 7th loss. City can get 9th win and stay on 1 draw in this season's Champions League, 9 months and 1 day before Pep's birthday, and World War II began on 9/1. 91's the 13th try. Pep can stay on 13 Champions League losses with Man City. He could get his 14th loss against the team that's won the European Cup 14 times. I don't think so. And he can win his 6th Champions League game versus Madrid. 13 is the 6th prime. Ancelotti can stay on 136 points in the Champions League with Real Madrid. Madrid can drop to 7-2-1 in the Champions League this season. They've yet to lose a game, and that's Erling Haaland's birthday. Birthday can become 8-2-0, which is when 9/11 began, 8:20 a.m. The draw, they just drew 3-3. Ancelotti can get his 137th point in the Champions League with Madrid, the 33rd prime. So I see more numbers for City. I don't like that 4-4-4. If there is, I'll do a video. If I do a video, right, hear me out. PSG just became 4-4-4 against Barca. If Madrid become 4-4-4 all time against Man City the day after, am I not all right to do a video about that? Can anybody give me a woo? People say, no, but you said City would qualify, Illusion. Yeah, okay, yeah, I think City qualify, yeah. But can I not do a video about how both those teams are now 4-4-4, 24 hours apart? Is that not worthy of me doing a video? Because maybe I thought City would qualify. Now, if City qualify, what do I get? If City qualify, or if City go on to win the Champions League, what do I get? You called the favourite? Great job, mate. Called the favourite. Yet they're all asking me now, who's qualifying, Madrid or Man City? If it's so obvious, take Man City today. What are they? Minus 138 to win in 90? I can't win with that weak mindset. Now, if I called Real Madrid to win and I was all out right now in your face, Real Madrid are winning, they're going to get that 4-4-4 like that Scripts Unveiled does, and what has he been wrong 19 out of 20 times or something on Twitter? At least he puts out his picks. But he says a team will win. If I sit here right now with you guys and I said, Real Madrid, they're going to win. It's a lock. They're going to go 4-4-4 all time in the 44th game in all competitions, and Ancelotti is going to get his 4th win, and they're going to do it in the United Kingdom, whose darling code's +44, and Queen Elizabeth had 4 children, okay? And a Jubilee lasted 4 days. And if Real Madrid won it, I might get 2 comments going, whoa, Illusion, mate. That was a good code with the 4s. Now, what about the semi-final? Now, it's the semi-final. Okay? Maybe it's Real Madrid against Bayern. Okay? Ancelotti goes against his old club again. Who's winning this? Oh, I think Real Madrid are going to knock out Bayern. Well, Bayern knock out Real Madrid. I have gone from a hero, genius, to a fraud. That's why my work's way bigger than that. It's why I like to expose it. I can do that every single day. But if you want to make my work just about sports picks and predictions, that's your mindset. That's because you can't look past that. None of us can say this team will win. A lot of you want me to say now Man City will win. Now that would make me a fraud. Yeah? If I said, guys, Man City will win, put down thousands on them to win the Champions League, all right? I've got a lock for them to go back to back. Attack me. Please, if I was that person, and there's loads of them on Twitter, and that's where they get the members, because they take advantage of gambling addicts, and there's millions of them around the world. If I wanted to take advantage of gambling addicts, I could take advantage of gambling addicts like that. So easy. I would know how to word it. I would know how to word it. But I never say we'll win. And then people tell me, if this code is everything you say it is, then you could say we'll win. What do you mean that this code is everything I say it is? I reveal patterns. It's very interesting for a lot of people. It's not bulletproof. If it was, I would be living in a palace right now. Can I get a woo? I'd be living in a palace. I wouldn't need to do YouTube live streams for you. I'd be sipping on a pina colada, all right, in Hawaii right now if this was bulletproof. I'm fully aware it's not bulletproof. When I say I think I am incredible at coding, I believe I am. I just believe I am. But I don't care how good a person is. They ain't calling everything. But let's go back to the real world. I charge $10 a month, which is a Big Mac meal. And I'm a fraud because I can't get everything right every single day in every single sport and every single prediction. So anyways, like I said, people can watch these games. They can bet on them. They can worship them. They can do whatever they want. Buy the jerseys. It's fine. So that's on them. I just like to expose it. You don't have to agree with me either. Semi-finalist 4 teams. There's 22 players on the pitch. Multiply by 4, you get 88. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So what you're saying today, bro, there's a 44 today, YouTuber. There's going to be 44 players starting, yeah, in these 2 games. You got 11 versus 11 in Munich, 11 versus 11 in Manchester. That's 44 players starting. It's another 44. Okay, I'm not even going to respond to that. So let's see when the Champions League final is. I forgot the date. It's the 69th season, isn't it? And of course, the final's in England because Queen Elizabeth equals 69, and she was coronated exactly 69 weeks after she became the Queen. So of course, the 69th season of the Europeans Premier Club Football Tournament, organised by Uefa, is in England, and it's the 32nd season since it became the Champions League. And I've told you 32 connects to the Queen. All right? Because she was regnant of 32 sovereign states. It's why the Euro 2020 final was in England and why it was 3-2 on penalties. Yeah? One of your friends sold his soul to the devil, is in Hawaii sipping alcohol and is miserable. The sad thing about the world right now is the average person's miserable. You only have to look around. Most people are miserable and they get their pleasure out of other people's misery. Can I get a woo? Like I said, the guys trying to expose me, they get pleasure out of me missing a prediction. That's their highlight of their day. Now, that's a pretty toxic existence for them. I wish them the best. But if that's your high, if that's your motive to wait for somebody to fail, what my brother's always done. My brother John, he's waiting on a fail. He always does. He always has done. Like a vulture, guys. You could have cost someone thousands of pounds. Let me tell you this one with that comment. This again, YouTuber. How old are you? YouTuber, how old are you? What I say about my sports picks, again, people have won, thousands, people have lost. I don't know what everybody bets. I know what I did. I know I won a lot. Blaming me for people losing money. But what about when they win it? Do I get the credit? Just out of interest in your mind. It's my fault if they lose. Is it all glory to me if they win? Secondly, blaming somebody like me for people gambling is like blaming the owner of a pub for somebody having a hangover. That's what it's like. When it comes to gambling, like many things in life, you have a choice. You have a choice if you gamble. You have a choice how much you gamble. You have a choice if you want to cash out. All right? You have a choice. It ain't... I don't feel any like super immense amount of joy when people say, I took all your pick. My mate Javi yesterday went, I took your Phillies pick. I won everything. I said, great, good job. I didn't want him to say, thanks so much, Adam. And if he took Phillies and they lost, I don't need a message from him saying, I took your Phillies pick and it lost. All right, you took it. Why? Why did you take it? You liked the code? All right, it missed. If you don't like my style of coding, don't take my codes again. It's like, it's one of those things. I haven't lost anyone thousands of dollars. I haven't won anybody thousands of dollars. So people have a choice, eh? The information that I give out, you do what you want with it. It's led some people to God. It's led some people maybe to gambling addictions. It's led some people to maybe getting angry. It's led some people to not watching sports anymore. It's led some people to setting up their own Patreons and Twitter pages, coding identical to me. There's even people now putting up codes identical to mine and saying woo. I didn't leave a comment because I've come off Twitter. But I was like, you're going to take my codes and then put woo at the end? So it's like, okay, nice that I've influenced you, but whoa, that's like, that's a bit too far. But again, you can't stop people in this world right now online. Everyone has a voice. People can take your work. You can't stop them. But I ain't responsible for what people bet on. What about the people that are following like 7 Patreons? The gambling addicts, they're the ones on 7, 8, 9 Patreons. They're taking picks from everyone. I don't get that mindset. Hey, Viegas, how you doing, my brother? God bless you, mate. We were just talking about the Champions League and the dramatic comebacks like Liverpool against Milan, or when Liverpool beat Barca 4-0 when they were 3-0 down. Or when Barcelona were 4-1 against Roma and got knocked out. It's not what you think it is. Okay? So yeah, YouTube, I hope you find a level of joy in your life. It's so easy to throw accusations around that have no substance. But I hope you actually find a little bit of joy, you know what I mean? We're in a world where people, they want to take all the glory, but they can't accept their failure. You might say I'm the same way. I know that I can miss picks. I don't see the purpose of me doing a stream saying, hey guys, I coded this team last night and they lost. I suck. Because people don't want to hear negativity as well. They want positive vibes, but they also want to shit on people at the same time. It's kind of strange. People don't want to hear how much your life sucks. Get that away from me. Get that negativity away from me. Ugh. Tell me something good. And when you're doing really well, they want you to fail. The average negative person. So they don't want too much negativity, but they don't want you to be doing too well. They just want you there where they are. So that's just unfortunate. No, YouTuber, you can voice your opinion, but I'm just saying when you say you've lost a lot of people money, just think very, very carefully about what you type in before you type it. Whatever happens with me, all right, with this illusion which came about in 2020, it's been brilliant. It's just been brilliant. I've learned so much information, gathered so much wisdom. I've been reborn in Christ. I've made a lot of money. I've changed a lot of people's lives. I've had a great influence on their lives. I've wrote 11 books. I never thought I'd sell thousands of books. I have. Nobody's ever taken that away from me. Whatever they want to say about me, I've sold thousands of books. I'm sat here now in my kitchen, speaking to people all around the world, having an influence on their life. People ain't taking that off me. They'll never be able to take that away from me. They can come and attack me and make accusations and lie about me and do whatever they want. They ain't taking that away from me. And what I've done in 4 years with this code, I hope they can achieve 10% of what I've done in 4 years. I do. Wish them the best. So, yeah, you see them deception. You can see who doesn't have spiritual discernment. You can see who's wrapped up in the world. You can see who denies Christ. You can see whose hearts have become so darkened. Now, again, I don't sit here wanting all of you in the chat to say, you're the best, Illusion. You're amazing, Illusion. I don't have any interest in that. I love the woos. All right? But I don't need that. I don't need to be worshipped, as you all know. But the people that come in the streams daily who are leaving information that is just has no substance, you got to just ask why they're even here. For me, Adam, the huge game at the Allianz Arena will bolt down to this. The team that wants it the most will ask the most questions. And it's all about heart desire and sheer will to win. You need a little bit of luck, though, as well, Flinny. You need a little bit of luck along the way. All right, if you put all those ingredients together, you're going to see that team progress to the semi-final. All right, and set up a potential dream matchup with either Man City or Real Madrid. Exciting times, eh, guys? Hey, Abid, God bless you, brother. Now, Abid's in the chat. Yeah, I see him as a brother. Now, he really appreciates what I do, like an immense level. That does bring me happiness, knowing that I'm having an impact on this great guy. It does. I don't take that lightly. I'm just saying I don't need people to say, you're the GOAT, Nostradamus, genius. I did leave that comment on the Messi code, which rattled a few people. Sometimes I say these things because I got about 11 comments calling me crazy in the previous post. I said, am I crazy or am I a genius? And I do feel like I'm either seen as completely crazy to most people or seen as a genius. Abid will tell you I'm a genius. Riddler will say I'm a genius. BK2, Hans might say I'm a genius. And then other people in the chat will say he's a fraud. He's mental. He's insane. And it's like, I have both sides of it. And that's why they always say there's a fine line between being crazy and being a genius. And maybe I am somewhere in between both. The stuff that I reveal, the stuff that I say, the average person ain't revealing it and they ain't saying it. Can I comprehend why people call me crazy? I've said yes. I get why people call me crazy. All pro sports is coded and run by the devil and it's spiritual wickedness. You're telling me all the players know? I've never said all the players know. But they must. Why? They don't have to know at all. I don't think they all know. So, out of all the footballers, God and Satan left out, I'm glad Messi is the footballer to be the GOAT. Why? When it comes to the GOAT, we've had this discussion. It's an opinion. It's the same in basketball. It's the same in baseball. It's the same in hockey. It's an opinion. So we can't. Messi is regarded as the GOAT by most. Some people say it's Ronaldo. Some say it's Maradona. Some say it's Pele. They're all being controlled by the devil. Some say it's Zidane. The way he plays football is the best. Again, right. Can you answer this, brother? You know Messi's playing in USA right now with Inter Miami. Why is he not banging like 70 goals? How come players like Chicharito, Robbie Keane, all right, Bradley Wright Phillips could go to the MLS and absolutely kill it? And now the current Ballon d'Or winner, yes, that means he's the best player in the world, is playing in the MLS. Is he killing it? Is he? This is the best player in the world right now who you're saying is the GOAT. All right. And like I said, he's just won the Ballon d'Or. It's not like he won the Ballon d'Or 10 years ago. He's just won it. He's just captained Argentina to the World Cup. Is he dominating the MLS? Is he dominating the MLS? The best player in the world? Should he be, if it was genuine? Shouldn't he be getting 4 or 5 goals a game in the MLS? The best player in the world? What would Mbappe be doing in the MLS? Or whoever else we're saying is the best players in the world right now? Birthday was amazing. Thank you. 6 goals in the league first season at PSG. Yeah, the GOAT. Who was sponsored by Michael Jordan, the GOAT. No, Jordan's not the GOAT. It's LeBron. No, it's not LeBron. It's Bill Russell. He's won 11 NBA finals. No, I think it's Kobe. All got their gifts from Satan. So again, the GOAT, sit down in a bar, talk about it as long as you want. You ain't going to get an answer. You ain't going to come to a conclusion that everyone's going to agree upon. So, yeah. I get what you're saying, but he's 35. He just won the World Cup. He just got the World Cup Golden Ball. He's just won the Ballon d'Or. What do you mean? He didn't he didn't like break his leg or pull his hamstring. Just, come on, mate. And now into Miami, I have Busquets, Jordi Alba, Messi, Suarez. Honestly, what can I say to you, bro? I don't know. to say, yeah, it was by far Argentina's best player at the World Cup. Isn't that supposed to be the best tournament in the world? And now he can barely score in the MLS. I just don't know what to say. I don't know who the best player is now. I don't watch the games. I don't know. People say it's Mbappe, don't they? Who else is there? Who else is there? KDB has been injured. Haaland's not a great footballer. He's just not. Mbappe, I don't really watch him play. I hear he's lightning quick. Kane scores goals. He ain't a great footballer. Who is there now? Your top stars, they're done, aren't they? Messi, Ronaldo, Benzema. Who is it? The football is just right now. Who's Real Madrid's best player? Vinny Jr.? Who's Arsenal's best player? Odegaard? Who is it? Odegaard? Bellingham. There you go. Maybe Bellingham. Again, I've never watched Bellingham play. He came on the scene when I stopped watching. Is it Bellingham? Is he great? From what I've heard, when you watch him, he ain't that great. But I don't know. So we're not talking about them. I'm telling you that Messi's in the MLS and he's struggling. And he's the best player in the world, according to Satan. That makes no sense to me. Benzema should be absolutely lighting up the Saudi league. I don't see it. What about Mane? Want Mane dominating the Premier League and the Champions League? What's he done in Saudi Arabia, Mane? What happened? What happened? So Bellingham plays like Lampard, goal-scoring midfielder. But does he play like Lampard? Or does he just score from midfield? Does he play like him? Lampard's game was pick the ball up in the quarterback position from the centre half, play a diag, make his run. He would always make a straight run. Ball would go out wide. Lampard would be on the edge of the box, nobody defending him, and he'd put it in the corner. Scored a lot of penalties as well. Is that all Bellingham does? I'm sure Bellingham's more of an athlete than Lampard. I'm sure he's better in the air. He's probably technically better. But again, Lampard, for me, is something off about him. Something off about him. His dad was a pro. His uncle, Harry Redknapp. His cousins, Jamie Redknapp. Harry Redknapp said Frank Lampard's going to make it big. And the media laughed. And they were calling him Fat Frank. So it's like, it almost seems as if you can make some sort of deal with the devil for them to have that much confidence and conviction that Lampard was going to be a top star when he was a nobody when they were saying it. He wasn't even in the top 5 in West Ham's academy when they were saying this. That's why the media were like, sure, Lampard's going to have the best career out of all of them. But he did, didn't he? Bellingham's exceptional. Yeah, for his age, what he's doing. Yeah, again, I haven't watched him, but for what he's doing, I think his possession. And his brother, what about his brother Job? I'm reading the book of Job. Jude Bellingham's brother's called Job. Obviously, Bellingham's called Jude. In the Bible, you have the book of Job and you have the book of Jude. The last name's Ham. All right, the third son of Noah, Abraham as well. Look at their names. The same day that Jude signed for Real Madrid, Job signed for Sunderland, the Black Cats. The same day, they both got a big move. And their first names are books in the Bible, Jude and Job. Bellingham does mock Jesus Christ. I've shown you that. I'm going to start, guys, go to my community posts and start liking them for me. I do them for free because I'm not on Twitter anymore. I'm not going on Twitter. I'll start showing you the photos, and I'll do it one at a time. I'm not going to put them all in one. I'm going to just maybe every day put a couple of images. Yeah, Bellingham mocks Jesus on the cross, and he gets worshipped. Watch if anyone scores today. Watch them do the Jesus on the cross celebration. One of them will do it. Their arms will come out. All right. Look out for the coaches on the sideline doing that. I just gave you 2 corkers with Enrique and Xavi last night doing the identical pose. There's one I've got Vincent Kompany and Guardiola doing it at the exact same time in the Burnley City game. And obviously Burnley, they connect to King Charles, but Kompany was Guardiola's captain when they won the Premier League together. They're both doing the Baphomet sign at the same time. And if they're pointing instructions to the players, I don't know why they're pointing to the floor. Told you, I'm a coach. I've coached. You don't point like that. Just look out for these things. I've planted the seed for you all. Mbappe's a crap footballer, just pace. I've heard a lot of people say that. That is what they call him, a glorified Marcus Rashford, is what people have told me Mbappe is. Lightning quick. But again, I'd have to watch to study him. I might have to start watching some of these games. Someone like Mbappe can do nothing for 80 minutes and then score 2 goals. It's probably what he did against Barca. Probably didn't get really heavily involved in the game. You read the headlines, Mbappe scores brace. I'd have to watch him to judge. Lampard was a donkey in comparison to Bellingham. Again, I can't say. I just know Lampard scored a ton of goals. But I believe it's demonic possession why he got all those goals, not because of his God-given talent, his natural talent. Mbappe would be a nightmare to defend against. I think anybody with crazy pace, you're never going to have an easy day if they've got any type of technique. You're always on edge. If you've got a lightning quick striker who has any type of technique, like a Jamie Vardy, you're always on edge. I had that speed. Defenders don't want to play against speed. They don't want to play against it. Now, if you've got technique, like I'm sure Mbappe has, you don't want to play against an Mbappe. I think most players would rather play against Haaland than Mbappe, especially these top professional defenders. Most of them are 6'2". Mbappe didn't do anything yesterday. It was more Dembele. Another time where ex-player scores against his old team. How many times? Look for that for you guys who gamble as well. Just look for that. Look for players against their old team and watch over the last 2 years how often they score against their old club. You had Dembele. What happened to Dembele? He's going to be the next big thing. He's world class. Did nothing at Barcelona. Goes to PSG. Barcelona fans mocked him. And then he scored in the home and away leg. Best player over 2 legs. Couldn't do anything at Barcelona. What happened? Bellingham is a hype job. Yeah. Guys, I've told you the media, Satan can hype up people. For whatever reason, he's hyping up Bellingham. The media can hype up a player and they can destroy a player at any point. Same with a coach. Same with a coach. Tuchel wins the Champions League with Chelsea. A year later, he's fired. Ten Hag, they were talking about being one of the best coaches around in the world when he was at Ajax. Now he's getting mocked at Man United. Pochettino, they were saying he's going to be one of the greatest to ever coach. Look what he's doing at Chelsea. It ain't about the talent. I want to show you that. Hey, O'Malley, I've got to go now. So again, do as you wish with my work. Make it all about predictions if you want. Make it all about just sports. Your call. I know why I do what I do. I know the level that I do it. And I'm very grateful to you all. All right. So, what do I think about Dele Alli? Thought he was unbelievable footballer. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know. I do believe when he was at Tottenham, he was brilliant. I've said this about Dele Alli. He was strong, he was quick, his footwork was unbelievable. He was amazing in the air. He scored important goals. He could defend. He had a great engine on him. It was top class when I was a football fan. And now, where is he? What's he doing? What happened? It's an interesting story with Dele Alli. It's very interesting. I don't believe his interview with all the abuse and his fake tears. I'm not falling for that for 1 second. But let's see. I don't know. Where is he? Everton? Yeah, people say he loves to party too much. I don't agree with those things. Explain George Best, if you believe that. Explain Maradona. If you're going to say, oh, they partied too much. Wasn't their whole gimmick George Best and Maradona being party animals? And two of the greatest ever? And Ronaldinho? Look at their careers. Don't let the media say that. It's what they said about Raven Morrison. Lost his mind a little bit. All right? He liked to party a bit too much. No, he probably just didn't play along with the Satanism at that level. At Man United, at that level of club. Why does Pep shout at players? Because he's an attention seeker, and it gives the commentators at the end, the pundits, something to talk about. Oh, I don't think Pep should be doing that. What do you think, Gary? Well, I think it's good. I think it sets standards. I think he's got to let them know, hasn't he? He's got to let them know that he is the boss. But Gary, I don't think he should be doing that. Like, I don't know whose voice that is. He shouldn't be doing that. Save that for the changing room. And it's like, it's the same. The people who sit down, again, like, they watch the build-up of the games. They watch the breakdown at halftime. They watch the second half. They watch the breakdown at full time. Then they watch the highlights. Gotta get out of that, guys, man. They've got to give them something to talk about. So when Guardiola comes on the pitch and he's ranting at Guardiola, half of them are going to tell you it's amazing coaching and man management. The other half are going to tell you he shouldn't be doing that. He should be saving it for the changing room. And it gives you guys something to talk about over a beer and a bag of crisps in the pub, doesn't it? Other than talking about God, or the fact World War III is coming, or the end is near, or the economy is collapsing. Talk about whether Guardiola should be ranting at his players. I don't want to talk about that stuff anymore. People don't like that. Yeah, Jamie Vardy gave himself to the devil. He went from the 8th tier to England in a few years. All right? They call it the miracle story of Jamie Vardy. How's about he gave himself to Satan and got to the top? And we'll keep it simple, eh? But that doesn't make for a good documentary, does it, for Netflix? But the miracle of Jamie Vardy, or the rise of Vardy, now people want to watch that. It gives them hope. Not Jamie Vardy sells his soul to Satan for Premier League fame and fortune. People don't want to watch that. All right, I'm off. God bless you, Adam, and family on here. Soon everyone will need Christ. Yeah, I do. Most of my streams now are about Christ, but you've got to lead people away from the world to get them to Christ in so many ways. Whilst they're wrapped up in the Champions League, they're not going to get wrapped up in the Word of God, are they? Can I get a woo? Can you hit that like before I go, all of you who haven't done it? I've just given you 2.5 hours of my time. Thank you for watching. Thanks to all of you on my website. I do appreciate you. And all your codes and the information you share. Like I said, Twitter, I'm done with that platform. I would recommend coming off it as well for any of you who have it. It's just remarkably toxic, is that platform. And you don't even know who's real on it. who's actually a genuine person. Nearly every person's image is not of their face. You don't know who they are, if they're bots. It's not worth spending your time on a platform like Twitter, I'll tell you that. All right. Soon the entire economy will crash. People will lose everything. Yeah, well, then we'll see. We'll see how people are doing then. Yeah, at any point, it's about to crash. The market is about to crash. Like I said, they won't care about the Champions League when that happens. Or maybe they still will. I don't know. Right, I'm off. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Much love. God wins.